Hi everybody, it's Mike Andrew once again providing a short video with practical insights as it applies to business and leadership. Today I'm going to be as practical as it can get. I'm going to talk about feedback as, in my opinion, one of the most effective methods of development, along with, of course, day-to-day work experience. But it's said that feedback is a gift. A gift. Why is it a gift? Because someone cares enough or has enough courage to give you feedback on something you can do to improve, to be better, or to continue doing what you're doing because it's working really, really well. A number of years ago, I did some work with McKinsey. I coached hundreds of their consultants. And what was interesting about working with McKinsey is ingrained in their culture is feedback as a development method. So I became very, very comfortable giving feedback. They gave feedback on everything. If you were running a meeting, they gave you feedback. If you were making a presentation, someone was assigned to give you feedback. As a matter of fact, when I first started giving feedback with McKinsey, I'd have to observe, some of their consultants, and I would tell them, you did this well, and this well, and you can improve in this area. And they stopped me and said, Mike, from now on, just give us one good thing and give us 2 or 3 things that we can do to improve. They were hungry to improve and keep getting better. So it was very easy to give constructive or improvement feedback in that environment because it's ingrained in their culture. While I was there, I subscribed to a number of magazines, and one of them was the MIT Sloan Management Review. I got it in the mail, and on the cover was the articles for that quarter, and one of the articles was McKinsey's #1 method of development, feedback. So I said, well, I've got to read this. So I opened it, read it, spot on, completely right on. Their #1 method of development is feedback. Think about a little baby. This is an excerpt from 1 Minute Manager from years ago. A little baby learning how to walk, taking his or her first steps. What do the adults in the room do? They cheer, they clap, they encourage, and the baby smiles and takes that next step. Feedback. I had a role a few years ago where I had a team of people, a staff of people. And of course I'd make it a habit to give feedback whenever it was necessary, the pat on the back or a redirect. But once a quarter I would have quarterly formal meetings with each of my staff, and I would talk about things that I've observed over the quarter around their behavior and so forth, feedback. And at the end of that meeting, I always gave them an opportunity to give me feedback, and I found that to be the most amazing experience, because what I found out is there were things I was doing really well that I wasn't even aware of that had a positive effect on them. And also, by the way, there were things that I was doing that wasn't doing well that impacted other people in not a positive way, and I never would have known about it if it wasn't for the feedback. So how do you give feedback? Very simple. What's the situation or the context? What did the person do and what was the effect or the result? Feedback. It's equated to one of my earlier videos where I talked about keep issues coldly, people warmly. You can be very candid, direct, and honest, but do it in a respectful manner, in a way that's palatable for the person receiving the feedback. So what's the situation or the context? What did they do? And what was the effect or the impact? And then you always have room to say, this is what I suggest, this is what I would recommend. Very simple. How do you receive feedback? That doesn't get talked about a lot. Receiving feedback should be very simple. Thank you. Listen, make sure that you've understood what the feedback is. Don't try to defend or interject. Just say, thank you very much. I appreciate that, because that person cares enough to give you feedback. You always have time to go back and say, this is what I was thinking, or this is what I meant to do. You always have time to explain. But at the beginning, just say thank you. Because remember, it's a gift. So, in the end, very simple, very practical. Feedback is a gift. In my opinion, it's one of the most effective methods of development. The example of McKinsey is their #1 method of development. Wish you all the best, and we'll see you next time.